Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I will get us kicked off here. Again, thank you so much for being here. And as we get started today for Empower Hour, I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone. And by welcoming everyone, I mean all voices, all perspectives, and all experiences. At WIA, we are a rich and diverse community from different locations all around the world, and we welcome and respect all backgrounds, cultures, and beliefs. We're really aiming to intentionally create a space here today where everyone feels able to share and everyone feels included. Today, I really am excited to welcome Coach Gina Restani, who is a facilitator, coach, speaker, and a bridge builder on a mission to revolutionize how we work and lead today, and how important that is, especially where we are today in the world. Through team workshops, facilitated training, and private coaching, she helps leaders reconnect to their purpose and build sustainable practices to move their brains, bodies, and businesses out of survival mode and into thriving. Gina has been a volunteer coach with WIA for 3 years and is based in her hometown of San Francisco, California. Please welcome Gina today. She is an amazing speaker, and I can't wait for this session today. One last thing before I hand it over to Gina, I just want to mention that applications are now open for our signature transformational leadership program for women leaders in environmental and social impact to get coaching support at a really accessible cost. So please help us spread the word. If there's any interest among your friends, maybe share on LinkedIn, and there's more information about how to apply on the website, the WIA. And with that, I want to welcome Gina.
Thank you, Ramona. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Good to be with you. Just to help everybody arrive, why don't you drop into chat a word that captures how you are right now and the place where you are currently at. So not how you've been, how you were, but how is it for you right now? Go ahead and put that into chat and what part of this world you're currently at. We have excited from London. We have exhausted in Philly suburbs. We have uplifted in San Rafael, tired in Corte Madera, jazzed and tired in Flint, cozy in San Francisco, settled in Vancouver, dissociated, tired from Italy, somber in Milwaukee, stressed in Sacramento, unsettled in Florida. Well, welcome everybody. This week, these last 3 weeks have been a lot. I am based in the US, and I've been hearing from so many friends and clients, past and present, who for years have been fighting for immigration rights and against climate change. And a lot of them are losing funding, and many of them are losing their jobs. So it's been hard not to feel discouraged and powerless. So mostly what I find myself doing in these conversations with folks is listening. Because actually it's really important to feel all those things, the powerlessness, the grief, because the cost of numbing out or armoring up is way too high. Feeling is what gives us the courage to recognize harm and intervene. So maybe you've been questioning, like me, what power do I really have here? Or is my job secure? Or How can I protect what I really care about without sacrificing my own well-being? And it can feel like a real trade-off. And I want to suggest that we can absolutely do both. We can protect and move toward what we most care about and simultaneously tend to our own well-being. I think part of what this moment is calling on us to do is to move care to the very center of our efforts. Care, individual care, collective care, care for the planet. I love how Rebecca Solnit puts it. She says, they want you to feel powerless and surrender and let them trample everything, and you are not going to let them. You are not giving up, and neither am I. The fact that we cannot save everything does not mean we cannot save anything, and everything we can save is worth saving. The fact that we cannot save everything does not mean we cannot save anything, and everything we can save is worth saving. We are working against big societal pressure right now to either panic or check out. And I want to offer us another way to lead through this moment, one that isn't driven by blind urgency or toxic self-reliance, because both of those are recipes for harm. I'm talking about a leadership approach that is embodied, rooted in a love ethic, and fueled by relationship. My favorite metaphor for this way of leading is inspired by what Roshi Joan Halifax calls a strong back and a soft front. A lot of us have a defended front shielding a weak spine. So we walk around brittle and defensive. It's a fragile kind of power. Or a soft front and a soft back, and we lose ourselves amongst everybody else's needs, and setting boundaries feels impossible. But if we strengthen our backs, metaphorically speaking, then we can risk having a front that's soft and open. And that piece is so important. Having a soft front allows us to lean into community like you're doing right now. It allows us to ask for and receive help, to calibrate our own mental and emotional capacity. And having a strong back allows us to discern which emergencies to attend to right now without losing contact with what we care about most. So we're going to be exploring this strong back, soft front together. But first, I want to tell you a story that I think is a beautiful example of the kind of transformation this leadership can create. So this is a story about Christiana Figueres. Anybody familiar with her work? I bet many people in this room are. Christiana led the Paris climate deal negotiations, bringing together 195 nations to agree to the Paris climate deal in 2015. Of course, I'm discouraged that the US recently withdrew from this agreement, but I want to uplift her leadership story. So when Christiana took over the negotiations following the 2009 attempts after the failed Copenhagen conference, she inherited a deeply divided, volatile situation. And I heard about a conversation with her recently when she was asked what changed the course, like how did she manage to get this done? And she said, I insisted that we eat meals together, that we make the table smaller, and I got them talking about their grandchildren. When I think about that story, something hard in me softens a little bit. So no one knows what will happen next, but I do know that what happens next will be shaped in 1,000 ways by you and me. So how do we cultivate a strong back and a soft front so that we can stay both rooted and flexible in a storm? The most direct way to access this is with the body. Bodies are our instrument to be here. It's a phenomenal instrument that we tend to underutilize. And it's the most reliable way I know to access gravity. So I want to take us through an embodied practice to help ground us. And this is inspired by Roshi Jones' signature meditation and also an adaptation of the Tibetan Tonglen practice. So this will take about 7 minutes. All right. So I recommend putting your feet on the floor for this. And if you like, you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And I'm going to invite us to bring our attention to our breath. On an inhale, elongate your spine. On an exhale, let your shoulders drop, relaxing with gravity. Sense your body resting on the earth's body. And now bring your attention to your back body and allow yourself to notice your spine. You might feel it on the back of your chair, or you can even put a hand on your back if that helps. And just appreciate for a moment how vertical and strong and flexible it is. And it's not so much about physical strength, like you may have back pain there today, but it's more the inherent dignity of your being. Your dignity is not something you have to prove. It's not a puffing up of the chest. It's natural. The strength of your spine allows you to uphold yourself in any condition. You can remind yourself of this strength anytime, silently strong back. And now with your spine elongated, bring your awareness to the front of your body and just see if you can soften. You might put a hand on your belly. Feel it rising and falling with your breath. Remember that our life is supported by each breath. Feel your lungs expand and touch the tender, open feeling of this space. Release any tightness you feel as you allow your breath to pass through to your heart. Let your heart be open and permeable. Remind yourself of your own tenderness by silently saying, soft front. And now, still with your eyes closed, see if you can widen your awareness to include the people right here on this call. Just like sense that we're right here with you. And now widen the field even further and imagine the humans living on your block and in your city and in your country. And humans living in different countries, and how many are caring right now about this world, feeling how much suffering there is, feeling concerned for the future and trying in their own ways to help. How many are caring, including you, loving this life, wanting to protect life? And now imagine back through history, how many humans are always caring at all times. Humans wanting to bring comfort and healing to their communities to make this world a better place. And imagine future generations around the world, how many caring beings will be working to bring more love to our world. So now once more, connect with your back body and see if you can sense this past, this lineage of care right there at your back body, supporting you. Back there is your experience as well, your teachers, your mentors, all right there. And then move your attention through to your front body where you meet the world. And take a moment to feel your heart area. You might put a hand there. Through your open front body, you can feel the world and access compassion. Through your strong back body, you can be with suffering, including your own, and respond with care. This is open-hearted leadership. As you settle into this quality of presence, take a few moments to recall really why you're here, to touch into what Suzuki Roshi called your innermost request. In breath deep in the body, the strength of your back, the openness of the front part of your body. We want to be of benefit to others. This practice is not simply about resourcing ourselves, but inviting ourselves to open deeply to who we really are, not separate from any being or thing. Thank you for your practice. So as you open your eyes, come back, take a moment and reflect on this thing called your innermost request. In other words, what do you really care about? And I want to invite you to pick a word, something you would like more of for yourself or for the world. It could be love or ease, peace, community. Don't worry too much about picking the perfect word, just something that you naturally care about. And when you've got a word, go ahead and drop it into chat. Ah, they're already coming. Passion, impact, love, hope, resilience, empathy, peace and family, compassion, connection, empathy, compassion, peace, hope, deep care for others, connection and peace, care, belonging, connection. Good. So one of the things that happens with burnout and with self-doubt actually is we lose contact with our hearts. We lose connection with the things we really care about. So having a word to orient yourself around is really useful. Okay. I'll tell you a story about a coaching client of mine. So this client was struggling to make headway in her organization. And she was the sole female on the executive team and the only woman of color. And she dreaded these weekly meetings because she felt like her contributions weren't taken seriously. And so we worked together doing what we just did, identifying a word to organize herself around. And for her, the word was inclusion. So we started to explore what would it look like to practice inclusion during these meetings. So rather than focusing on proving herself, what if she leaned into the thing that was easy for her to have confidence in? And for her was the power of inclusion. So in coaching, we explored, what if your only job was to be a voice for inclusion in these meetings? What would you say? How would you say it? How might it shape what you're proposing? And from there, she started voicing her ideas with a little more confidence. And after a few weeks, she didn't dread the meetings so much. And they didn't adopt all of her ideas, but she felt like for the first time she was truly being heard, like she belonged on that team and that that team belonged to her. So I want to invite you to take a moment for yourself to consider what might practicing your chosen word, what might that look like in your world? And let's start at the smallest, most direct scale. Just consider today, just today, the next 24 hours. What might practicing love or ease or compassion, what might that look like? And I'd love to hear from a few people. Go ahead and take yourselves off mute.
I'll go. My word was consideration, and I think I right now make it my goal to practice being considerate of others, but do not make it a goal to considerate myself. So I might start practicing that in each thing I'm doing, to just say, okay, what about me? And to just start practicing that.
Beautiful. Thanks, Lynn.
Hi, this is Danae. I can go next. My word was compassion, as I see a lot of us have that word. And for me, there's so many things going on right now that are so overwhelming that I don't have any control over. And so my goal with compassion is to reach out to individual people and show them compassion when I know they're going through something, and just to spend time with them and listen to them and be a shoulder to them and show compassion to people that are in my circle or that come into my circle. So was the area that I can control.
Beautiful. Thank you, Danae.
Danae, I may follow you on that one since I kind of flow with that too. I think for me, it's really around openness and openness also in not being rigid, not being rigid, being, I don't know what the solutions may be, but I'm also open. I'm open to hearing different perspectives, and I want others to be open to hearing my perspective. And I want to be open to understanding other people's approaches. And so that openness in terms of not being controlling, not being rigid, being inclusive, being compassionate. I think that openness is one that's really resonating for me right now in this.
Thanks, Brandy. Yes, Faith.
Thank you, Gina. My word was love, and I hope I'm clear. My word was love, and for me, that looks like extending grace to myself and to those around me. So the love begins from me first, and then it overflows to all those around me, my family, and being speaking kindness to people, even when it's very difficult, and speaking life to myself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Faith. All of you who are sharing, your shares are such an act of generosity. Thank you. Chantal, come on up.
Yeah, I think I'll go next because it's similar to what Fifth just said. I had peace and family, and it's giving grace to myself. I have a young son, and being at times I feel like I'm not doing much as a mother because of work and all that. So giving grace to myself and knowing that I'm doing as much as I should, and with all that is going on, having peace with me and be able to give peace to my family.
Cool. And if I may, I want to invite us to go one click deeper or one click more specific. And this is for everyone. What is one thing, one action or inaction that you'll take today in service of this thing that you've identified as being very important to you? And go ahead and drop that into chat. Perhaps something you'll say yes to or something you'll say no to in service of this quality. Alyssa will remember that how we do it is just as important as what we do. Absolutely. Randy will be open to what emerges in my following calls and discussions, not leading with the result in mind. And this can be related to your work. This can be related to a relationship. This can be related to your home, your well-being, anything at all. These are all places that we can practice this core quality. Faith bought some colored Post-it notes yesterday, and she's been writing words of affirmation. Place them all around the house to remind herself that my family and that we are here and we matter. Sarah's practicing self-compassion today by taking a sick day. And I'm going to take a nap instead of powering through. You know, I've gotten to listen to thousands of professional women in my work. It's been an honor and a joy for me. And when I ask them what kind of leadership traits they admire, they say things like authenticity and courage and humor. And what I notice is these are not credentials or ideas. These are practices to embody. So it can be hard to feel like we have any agency at all over what's happening when so much is shifting and the problems feel so big. So when you're in the weeds or feeling like you could use an anchor, a reliable self-check-in is, what am I practicing here? And is this in alignment with what I most care about? I'll offer it to you again. What am I practicing here? And is this in alignment with what I most care about? I love the words of L.R. Nost. She says, "Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you." So whatever opens your heart, even for a second, is worth doing over and over and over again. Our hardest work right now is not to turn away and not to have calluses grow over our hearts. When we train our hearts in this way, we strengthen the collective heart of our world. Thank you all for being here, for practicing, and for bringing all this beauty into the world. I am deeply inspired by what you're up to and the millions of ways you're practicing these qualities. So to wrap, I'd love to hear from a few of you. What's it giving you just to be in community with folks who are practicing leadership, open-hearted kind?
Sorry, Gina, would you be able to repeat the question?
Yeah. What's this giving you? These 37 minutes you've spent with this mostly room of strangers.
I can go if no one else. What it's really giving me is a chance to reflect. It's been a while since I've actually taken a step back and assessed if I am acting in a way that is truly aligned with what I want to practice. And just being in this 37 minutes and specifically taking those 7 minutes to close my eyes and understand what's coming from me, it's really helped kind of refocus and also help me understand where there actually might have been gaps, particularly in my work life, that was causing me discomfort and that I can easily address. So it's been it's been eye-opening, but also very restful in a way.
Thanks, Paula.
I'll go. I feel soothed, I feel soothed. I feel like, especially with your guidance, Gina, and the way you kind of instantly created a safe space here for us and a feeling of community. I feel, oh yeah, I'm not alone, first of all. And secondly, I have the internal resources that I need, exactly what I need. And it's easy to place those, thoughtfully, intentionally on what is important to me. So it's, yeah, very soothing. So thank you, Gina.
You're welcome. Well, we have about 20 more minutes and we wanted to leave some time for Q&A. You are welcome to come off mute, ask questions. It can be about a leadership challenge you're having, anything related to what we just did, or about the Empowered Leader program, or excuse me, WIA's leadership program. It's really good. I'm so proud to support this organization. There's a whole team of really fabulous coaches ready to support women doing important work in the world. So if you have questions about any of those things, please bring them in. Mala.
First of all, thank you so much for the lovely session. It's been really wonderful just to connect with everybody, but also, to take that time. So thank you. I had a question about, I guess, this open-hearted leadership, and the fact that just extending a bit more openness in general across an organization can really help. But how do you bring that courage to kind of introduce these practices when, per se, you're so used to a certain structure, or the structure is very much focused on only productivity and that is it? That was my question. And also I'd like to hear more about the leadership program and how that runs. But yeah.
Is there a place where you're experiencing, like, or trying to kind of encourage people to have this open-hearted approach?
I came from investment banking, and I've now moved to a startup where I can now define and create this open-hearted approach. But I almost feel like my initial experiences kind of has restricted my viewpoint on this. So I'm trying to make that move, but it's almost like I can't think how.
Yeah. I think you're doing it. Part of what's happening and what can feel like a tension point is it takes up some unlearning, because we've all been socialized in some regard, whether it's like by our family of origins, the cultures we live, the organizations we're part of, by mostly this fast and furious, go, 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 driven, driven, driven pace until that stops working. And it takes a little time. It's like learning, like if you were learning, I don't know, how to swim for the first time. The practice is, I would say, the most important thing until eventually it becomes embodied. And in terms of inspiring this kind of leadership in other people, I want to caution us to not restrict our open-heartedness based on how other people are choosing to lead. And I believe that the ways we show up and what we make space for when we are radically inclusive and radically loving, that something has a chance of melting. It's at least a bridge. We can't determine if someone will walk across, but we can absolutely be responsible for lowering our own drawbridge.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Was there anything in particular you wanted to hear about the WIA program?
No, just an overview in general. It's one of the first times I've heard about it, and I guess what also, you put in to be able to get the results that the leadership program offers. I guess that's the more specific question.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I'll be happy to jump in here again and maybe quickly introduce myself. And I'm Ramona Harvey, and I'm the manager for the coaching manager and supporting coaches in particular. And just real brief about the Empowered Leader program. And I really do encourage everyone to take a look at our website and the details. But I will say that the program is, first of all, really unique. It is this unique ecosystem of leadership development and coaching that's really specific to women leaders in the social impact sector. And what I really love is that it's a global network. So there are really people from all over the world. I think that's such a important part. And there's just women who are sharing this commitment to create this positive, sustainable change in their organizations, in the world. And I also want to say thank you to Gina, first of all, for being here. And Gina is a volunteer, one of our 200 plus WIA coaches who are supporting women leaders in the program. So the program itself offers one-on-one coaching. It offers leadership development workshops that are led by subject matter experts. It also offers a chance to connect with others on a regular basis in what we call ally pods, and these are small groups of other women in the program who meet regularly and foster meaningful relationships that for many continue past the program. And that's such an important, it's so important to have a community to continue to reinforce these new capacities. And then there's also a fourth piece, which is community learning sessions like this one. And they're really designed to kind of support each other in this more courageous and empowered, inspired way. And any questions that you have, please do reach out to myself or Amber, who is also on this call. And I'm happy to answer any other questions about the Empowered Leader program. And as I mentioned, the applications are now open this month.
Thank you
It's
so much.
robust. It's robust. That's one of the reasons I love it. And you get to work with a coach for a lot less money than what the market allows. So it's good stuff. What else? Who wants to talk through a leadership challenge? In this room full of amazing, smart leaders.
I
Danae,
um, I'm gonna be retiring soon. Yay. And when we look at the succession, plan, and people that are internal, there's a young lady who is very skilled, um, but the comments that I keep hearing is that she's mean and she's harsh and she's rigid and she's mean. And so and this has been like a constant. But I can deal with her because I can see through to her heart and who she really is. And so I can kind of get through all of that. And I've told her before that my concern is that nobody else is going to take that time to do that. They're going to see what's on the surface and they're going to shut down. And that's what kind of happens. And so there was an opportunity for her to get a promotion, and the higher level execs said absolutely not. And it wasn't because of her work; it was only because of her attitude, how she comes across, her tone, and that type of thing. Now there's another opportunity coming up, and I'm seeing the same thing. And people are even calling me to tell me that even when she first started, they thought she was mean. And that was years ago. So there's just this whole sense uh, of people being against her being promoted because of that. Not because of her skill set, because she's very smart and she can really do the work. But I have a hard time. I guess my question is shifting her, because she has this outer persona, and part of her feels like I should not have to change and be somebody that I'm not. Um, and so part of me feels like, well, if you're not going to shift, then you're not going to be promoted. And if that's what you want, then okay.
I just want to say I hear your care for this person.
Yeah. So she's a really good person. She's a deaconess at a church. She's running around doing things and showing up for people, but people don't see that. I mean, I see it because I'm close to her. People close to her see it, but anybody else is not going to even look that close.
Is she aware have you told her the impact that she's having? Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
are
as you
you,
were thinking about getting her into this program, um, I'm just wondering what I can do.
that was the first thing I thought of. Sounds like coaching support might help. Yeah, does the WIA team have any thoughts on, if you would want to sponsor someone to take the program that isn't you yourself? What's the best way to navigate that?
Amber, you want to take that?
Yeah, just trying to find my mute button. Yeah, if you want to offer that they join the program, we have a couple info sessions coming up as well. So I think that would be really helpful for them to hear kind of what we're all about. There's one coming up on February 12th. I can put some of that information in the chat here in a minute as well. And then maybe reach out to me and connect them with myself. I'm the program manager here at WIA, by the way, and we can get them connected with the application, let them know a little bit more about what the program offers. And also for yourself too, just so that you know what you're offering and what you're helping them get towards with being a part of the program. So I can further talk with you about that so that, yeah, you're feeling confident and comfortable in connecting them with the program. It does sound like they would be a great candidate for having a coach walk alongside of them.
And she knows that I'm a coach. And so in the past, there's been times when I've tried to talk to her and she's like, are you doing that coaching thing? So I don't want to throw my pearls before swine. So I pull back. So I see that somebody in the comments has talked about compassionate leadership, and maybe that is what we're talking about, helping her to do. Is that what we're saying?
Sorry, I had a hard time understanding the last part of what you said. I don't know, Gina.
I guess I'm saying is that, are we saying that her embracing compassionate leadership is what it sounds like might be needed?
Yeah, yes, I would agree.
Okay. Yeah.
And I imagine it's compassion for the thing about this stuff and how it shapes us as leaders are all kinds of things. We don't know where these tendencies come from, and they show up in all kinds of ways. And so the benefit of, and what WIA does, I think, really well through their programs, and of course, working with a coach who isn't your manager. I mean, we need managers coaching. Also, in some cases, it's really helpful to have someone who's like outside of the, work sphere, to really hold people, but also to kind of look at like, what's here now, and what am I really needing? And WIA's programs, and again, like a 6-month, this is a 6-month coaching engagement, so you're going to get in there. It's like, how am I operating? What's happening? Is this alignment with what I care about? What's the impact I actually want to have? And they can have, anyway, if she decides to apply for the program, and it is, there's an application progress, and so she will need to be committed. But if she's committed to learning, and wants this level of support, I imagine it will help.
And is it a 6-month program or a 9-month program?
It's a 9-month program, and we did have coaching kind of fit in within that 6-month time span, and it's now about 8 months. We've expanded it a little because it's 12 hours of one-on-one coaching, along with the leadership workshops, and the peer groups, which we call ally pods.
Thank you.
All right, we are coming up on the top of the hour. I am here to support you in any way that I can. I just want to invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm going to put that into chat for everyone. And let me know if you had any questions about anything we covered today, or if there's anything that I can do to be your champion in the future with what you've got going on. I'm here with my hands at your back, regardless. And yeah, I encourage you to stay connected to WIA. They're doing really good work.
Thank you so much, Gina. This has been just really inspiring for me personally. And thank you everyone for being here. Again, as I mentioned, Gina is one of the 200 plus coaches that are supporting leaders like yourself through WIA. And we are just so happy to be able to host these sessions, to continue to spread, the word out there, to continue to spread compassion and a sense of feeling empowered to show up in the way that we want to show up as leaders, as women, as a community. Again, thank you, Gina. And if you are interested to learn more again about the program that is offering coaching, that is offering sessions like this one to support your leadership development, or anyone else in your community who you think might benefit from it, have them visit our website. The applications are open, and we are welcoming everyone who is interested to get the support. And it's an application process, and we're, as Gina mentioned, we are, supporting women leaders who are really committed to this growth, inner growth, and growth in the way that they are supporting their teams and organizations. If you have any other questions, please send them our way. You can connect with Gina on LinkedIn and continue to hear from her. You can stay connected to us on LinkedIn as well. We are continuing to post and share about our catalysts and about our programs. If you have any specific questions about the program itself, you can reach out to Amber, and Amber can put her email maybe in case there are any specific questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
everyone.
Come off mute to say goodbye.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.